Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself, or know your nation, know yourself. The two are interchangeable. And welcome to another HoGaLe's. So, of course, it's wonderful. The trio is back together. And here, I'm just saying, looking very chic. Oh, look, I pointed in the right direction.
Oh, well done. That's a lovely
Yes.
background, Lady G.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Gorgeous. Loving the top. And of course, we have beret clad, of course. We Lena down under. And you know what, Lena? Soon is this is like a little tennis match, isn't it? With the hours of the sun, because today is the solstice, folks. Today is the summer solstice in the UK, in the northern hemisphere. It didn't get dark until 10:20 p.m. today.
Goodness.
So the sun has only just gone down. But Lena, what it means is slowly but surely the sun is coming back to you from tomorrow.
Well, you'd hope so, because really, I got up this morning, it was 0 degrees centigrade.
I didn't know it would even get that cold in your neck of the woods.
It doesn't usually, We get 4 and 6 overnight in winter centigrade, but it's ugly.
Wow. Gosh. Well, okay. So, folks,
you've got ice cold thing, and I've got 82 degrees all night.
Yeah. Can't we meet in the equator? I think,
Well, this is the thing, global temperatures and all of that stuff. So we've got ladies, this show now, as usual, the ladies do not know what I'm going to ask them. The briefing is it's just literally just a flash. It's like, are we on together? And I'm just pressed the button. So, but ladies, we've got really quite an eclectic show tonight with a little esoteric twinge in there. So just to give you guys a little overview of, and one of them is really interesting. So bear with me. So the first place we're going to be going to is Niger, and a question with Niger and Russia.
Oh, yes.
Then the second question it's about, brace yourselves, it's about penis cancer. Yeah.
You wouldn't want to get that, love.
Yeah, wouldn't want to get that. Interesting question there. Then we're going to be looking at monoliths.
Yes.
And then we've got an Elon Musk, a SpaceX question. Zizi, you've because Nigel Farage has just obviously been a bit controversial and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to save that for a Thursday fry-up. I'll save that for a Thursday fry-up. What's in the other day? And then we've got Jack Smith. I put here Jack Smith versus Trump. And just a shout out to Wheezy Squeezebox. I tried to find your question. So she said, whoops, I posted an overly long question on your community page 7 days ago. Hogarth, would you please take a look? I don't think I could write it all out again. And I did take a look in last week, because then it wasn't there, Wheezy Squeezebox. So I think it was longer ago, and I didn't have time to dig through, my dear. So if you could maybe find the question and write again, or, just maybe out something new next week. So sorry about that. Thank you for your question, but I wasn't able to find it. Otherwise, the ladies would have been even more delayed waiting for me as I rummaged around. Right. Are you ready to begin?
Almost. Sharon Donnelly says Shakespeare wants to debate Trump.
I mean, can you imagine? I think we should ask the Bard about Elon Musk.
Yes.
We have done Elon in the past.
Make a note. It's a long time ago, but that'd be fun.
Yeah, it's been a long time ago. Let's get a little update, particularly with the questions. So, all right, let's begin. So we're jumping in our esoteric aeroplane. Thank you to everyone who's joining us in, and we'll read out some of your comments soon. So here we're going to Niger. So we've not been in Africa for a while. So yeah. Nick Minks asked, Niger's military government has revoked a French fuel producer's permit as if things couldn't get even worse for a certain President Macron. Anyway, France's fuel producer's permit to operate at one of the world's largest or biggest uranium mines. Okay. Do the cards confirm which country is going to step in and take over? That is probably a bit more tricky, but I'll read on. Pretty clear that Niger has decided to fully get into bed with the devil, but what will be the outcome from Niger's willingness to work with Russia? So I think that in many ways is probably the question, because Russia wants to increase its footprint in Africa. So shall we just ask, what's the nature of the relationship between Russia, Niger, and the uranium mines?
Yes. Okay. Well, of course, they could always buy, the French this is, buy the uranium from us, because we're the biggest uranium producer in the world.
Really?
Yeah,
Australia?
and we mine it in our biggest national park. But let's not go there.
Oh my goodness. Well, actually, maybe France probably won't come to Australia, because then they get snubbed by the nuclear submarines thing. Do you remember that?
That's right. It could be ironic they have to get the uranium from Australia.
Yeah. My goodness.
Okay, Niger and
Russia uranium contracts, potentially. What's the energy of that?
Let's have a look. Oh. I can go if you like, Hoagie.
Go for it, Lena.
Well, they're not simple cards, right?
Oh.
It starts off, here's the Seven of Swords, and in the One World Tarot, we made this figure quite a Cossack sort of figure. So this is Russia itching to get in there for the uranium. But then come two major arcanas, Judgment and the Chariot. And although Judgment we think of as judging somebody or a collective or something, it's also about choosing. It's using your judgment, you know. So Niger has to decide how it's going to use its judgment. And this is going to unfold very quickly. But I think they've underestimated how this is going to impact, because in the post-colonial settings, somehow it never works out for the previously colonized country. So the Eight of Swords could be France here, for sure. But because this deal is so rushed with the Chariot, it leads to a great deal of confusion. So to sum it up, I think what's happened is the new military in Niger is saying, we don't need France anymore. Russia, you know, is on the hotline. We can do it. But nuclear stuff is not quick, and it's not easy, and it's not cheap. So I think they could get themselves in a bit of a knot here. And in the meantime, France is having a setback with this arrangement.
Fascinating. Lady G, what do you have?
Well, what I have is, again, above it all, we have the same thing. Our little Russia guys trying to get away with something. We all have that same thing. All three of us. All three of us.
Wow. Wow.
And they may be wishing they could distance themselves from it in the end, because when it goes to the writing on the wall, contracts, etc., there is a fly in the ointment. So it's not going to go well for them in the end. They're going to go, why did we do that?
Interesting. So, and as you've seen, folks, this show may span 17 time zones, but of course, when it comes to spirit, there is no distance at all because all three of us got the same card, just in case we weren't sure of the motives.
Yeah, just in case.
Just in case we weren't sure. So yeah, so obviously my cards echo very much the ladies. So if we look here, Stinky Fish has shown up. As we know, this is the Page of Cups, but we all know I call him Stinky Fish. So this is obviously more bad news for France. Oh dear, poor Macron. You know, he's just managed to basically usher in. I mean, isn't politics just absolutely crazy right now? But anyway, bad news, bad message for France. Basically, Niger has given them the up yours, effectively. Yes. I won't give the one-fingered salute, but this is Niger doing equivalent of that. But of course, this is also news as well for Russia. It's going to give them an opportunity. Yes, there'll be other countries probably vying, but Russia already has a significant footprint in Africa anyways. Until, of course, Prigozhin was shot down out of the plane. But, you know, they're still there, you know, for entertainment purposes only. Just in case we weren't sure, look at that. 7 of Swords. So it's a bit of a sneaky under the carpet, round the corners, behind a hedge type contract. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think if Russia do sail in and get the contract, I would echo as well what both the ladies says. They will probably regret it in the end, because once they've entrenched themselves in there, it's going to be very hard to get Russia out. And also as well, they're going to be covered in radioactive waste anyway, and these aren't necessarily the type of people you want to touch. So anyway, there's that. So if we look here, we have got the, I think like look, we've got the Hierophant here. So this could be speaking about, this could easily be speaking about the Russian government. It could also be speaking about the French government as well, because you know, the Hierophant is about established norms, rules, regulations, and stuff like that. I think if we read it from the Russian perspective, they're wanting to sneak in there and basically establish themselves, maybe as the dominant power. The next card I get here is the Magician. So using every tool in the box. Yeah. Obviously, you know, Russia's having some issues at the moment because of the US sanctions. So they're literally digging deep and, you know, doing deals, of course, with North Korea, etc., and stuff like that. But again, if we look here, it's not all sweet. We get the 4 of Cups. So in terms of for Niger, I think this is how it's going to be for them. They're not necessarily going to like all of the options on the table, but there is something here in the sky. But I also think as well, this is also reflecting on Russia as well, having to kind of scrabble around a bit because of all the different pressures, particularly with the sanctions and stuff like that. So again, quite complex cards, quite complex, but they might regret in the end, but it wouldn't surprise me if Russia wins the contract. Let's put it that way. Anything to add to that, ladies, before we move on?
Just one thing. The debate is just before Thursday fry-up, 9 p.m. East Coast, 6 p.m.
Is it? Oh, crikey. Oh, gosh, what to do?
Yes, dilemma. But anyway, we'll move on now.
Yes. Okay, we'll think about that. Because
good to know. Good to know.
Good to know, because the thing is, folks, if we do it earlier, that means Lena would have to wake up like really early, and I'm not sure how fair that is. Maybe if we do it later, then I don't know. We'll have to think about it. We'll talk off camera. Yeah. All right. So I'm just going to click up on 1 or 2 comments there. Oh, look at this. Oh my gosh, a donation in already. Hopefully my computer will oblige. So Catherine, thank you so much for your kind donation. This one caught my eye in the comments. So my Koperick said, Barron Trump is being accused of being involved with a 300 million crypto scheme. Have you both heard about this? Oh, you're nodding, Lady G. Could you give us some?
Yes. What have you heard?
Yeah, I just heard about it today, you know. Yeah.
Wow.
Shall we do a little 1-card pull, maybe just to see what the energy is? Yeah. Why not? Unexpected. Sure. let's throw one in. Let's do a 1-card pull. What's the energy around Barron Trump and this $300 million crypto scheme? Is he learning from Papa already? He wonders. But it just caught my eye. It just leapt out.
Yeah.
All right. I'll choose 1 card. What's the energy? What's the energy? Okay. Are we ready? After 3. All right. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Ooh, very interesting. Lena, how do you interpret your card?
Well, I get the Emperor card. Bear in mind, we don't know if this story is valid or not.
Exactly.
Right? So, no, absolutely. But I think this still holds thing that his name is Barron. He's the son of, and I think he's got a little emperor complex.
Interesting.
So regardless of where this story ends up, this is the sort of shortcuts he'll be taking because he thinks he's an emperor.
Wow. Lady G, how do you interpret your card?
Well, he's working with somebody else and has actually taken the initiative and is moving forward. Yeah.
Wow, interesting. And I've got the Lovers card here, and of course I've had to strategically place my finger to cover the naughty bits for the algorithm. But as you guys know, like the Lovers is all about making consequential choices. But I also associate as well with contracts, business, imports and exports, and trade. So it seems like there might be a little bit of a chip off the old block here, because these cards suggest that, and the Emperor could also be Daddy as well. So yeah. So we, as Lena said, we do not know how valid this story is, but as a 1-card read, I think it's interesting. It does seem to suggest there could be some involvement there, because it's all. Well, you could see the cards. Wow, look at that. Oh,
we know that Trump has always said Barron is so smart with computer and all these other things. And then, of course, his mother is out there scamming and selling these things too. So I wouldn't be surprised that he's...
Yeah, it's not such a big leap, is it?
The Emperor has a stone throne. I've never spoken of Barron all these years, but now he's over 18 and public.
Right.
Which speaks to that not emotional thing,
Yeah, I see it as the entrepreneur. Well.
Yeah. And all those cards, there could be something to it. There could be something to it. Just with those 3 cards, I think it says a lot. Yeah. Could be something to it, folks. So we'll have to see on that one. So let me just put here Barron Crypto. That wasn't even planned, but nonetheless interesting. Barron Crypto. And we know as well that old Melania likes a few electronic products, doesn't she? With the NFTs of her eyes. Yeah, do you remember that? Art of the eyes. All right, so let's move on to this rather intriguing one. So question number 2, we're jumping in our esoteric aeroplane and we're going to Brazil. So this is coming from Nick Minks, and let's see what we think of this one. So she writes here, penis cancer. Oh, what's that? Oh, I heard an exclamation, or maybe I imagined it. Anyway, penis cancer cases increasing. Brazil sees 6,500 amputations in a decade. Oh dear, that's dreadful. Although not specific to Brazil and relatively not common, it's shown that there are links to hygiene and also unprotected sex, she says. If this was highlighted in the US, where the idea of removing contraception altogether could occur due to corrupted powers, i.e. the Supreme Courts, I think she said. Oh, crikey. And then I missed that bit. And it said, would this prove... Oh, my goodness, I can't remember what the rest of the question was. It was to do... I think she said, would this prove a deterrent for them going down the route of not having any contraception. That was it. That's the bit.
I'm sorry, this question is
Too
bugging
long.
me. I actually don't think it's a valid question.
Yeah, I think you've got a good point there. I think
it's just anti-gay, anti-everything rubbish. Myself, that's my.
Oh, view. Okay. It was. I think that she was making a comment about the divine feminine, but then, anyway, yeah. But you're right. It was a bit rambling. Sorry, Nick Minx. We'll scratch that one. Let's go on to the monoliths. Yes. Now, this is coming from Denise Ferguson. So I would just say, for future reference, folks, when you're asking questions, try to keep them concise, because then otherwise it can be a bit too much. Anyway, since 2016, monoliths have appeared, then suddenly vanished all over the world. The metallic monoliths are 10-foot high, hollow slabs of rectangular metal that resemble the ones from Space Odyssey 2001. The latest appeared in the desert outside Las Vegas. Oh. One appeared on Hay Bluff in Wales after Kate announced her cancer diagnosis. Some have been proven to be hoaxes, while others are a mystery. If they are real, what are their origin or message or purpose?
Oh, okay.
Interesting, eh?
Mm-hmm. Monoliths. Let's have a look at the monoliths.
Let's have a look. Monoliths. Have the both of you seen Stanley Kubrick's Space Odyssey 2001?
Yes. Yeah. Several times, I seem to remember at the time.
Yeah. These big, like 10-foot like blocks, weren't they, which were alluding to the evolutionary leaps. I think in the film Barbie, I remember now, they did a pastiche of that with the little girls and their Barbies, and then they started to smash the Barbies up once they touched the monolith or something. And to remember. Oh. Goodness, what a set of cards I've got. Who's ready to go?
I can, if you like.
Go for it.
Okay, I am using the Japaridze deck, which is very abstract and gorgeous. Okay, the first card is the Star. I think the aim of these is to make people think they're from outer space and other planets, right? The Wheel of Fortune, Karma, Fate and Destiny, I think it can be confusing for people because I think real things are being revealed at the same time other things are being faked to try and emulate that stuff. So it's really hard to distinguish between true revelations. Because I've got the Jester here in this deck. So I think it's someone, it's a bit like the crop circles. You know, often a dying farmer will confess to doing the crop circle, right? You know, and yet there probably are real ones. You know what I mean? That's how I feel about this. And the Stranger of Winds, it's these are such extraordinary cards. I think the next thing we'll see is underwater monoliths being revealed. That I think are more likely to be real.
Right. Yeah, because they couldn't be placed there overnight.
Yeah, there's mixed feeling about it.
Lady G, what do you have?
Well, what I have on one side is a path going upward, moving upward in the directions that we're going. It's what I have on the other side of it. And it's ending what's crossing it, ending obstructions, difficulties, and bringing in more energy, more power and motion. Yeah. So I would say they look like they're genuine and just trying to support things, bring more things into motion.
Interesting. Like I've got some really quite interesting cards here. I'm getting some quite funky combinations tonight. So if we look here, the first card I get is not one that you would necessarily expect. I get the Five of Pentacles, which can talk about, poverty, feeling out in the cold, etc., and stuff like that. What this would suggest to me is, I think the ones that these might be in reference to the ones that are hoaxes. I think the hoaxes would be those from people that maybe are feeling, excluded, out in the cold, trying to be profound in some kind of way, or import some kind of gravitas that they may not necessarily possess. Yeah. So I think these is reference to the hoax ones. But look, the next card that comes straight after is the Sun, which is about revelation, illumination, enlightenment, and stuff like that. So I think some of them are real.
Yeah.
And the real ones are here for humanity, maybe to make us ponder, make us think. I mean, I'm not necessarily saying if you see one appear in the middle of the field, and if there's profound sweeping music that's also associated with it, probably don't touch it, because but you never know. But this would suggest, okay, some may have been hoaxes, but it looks like some are genuine. And then when you look at the next card here, we've got the Empress in the middle, which seems to evolve on the Sun. This is almost mother and child together. And it's almost like the illumination is to almost inspire creativity, fecundity, fertility, all of the positive aspects of the Empress. And it's very interesting as well, because she's always sitting in the field, and these things have habits of turning up in fields as well. So I think the ones that are genuine are sort of here for progress and development. If we look at the next card here, I think it's up to us to interpret the message.
Yes.
Because here you've got, and this is actually quite, I mean, when we're talking about, the GOP or whatever, we know that this is the false knight who basically wants to bed you and seduce you. But I think this is actually more in its more authentic form as the romantic, the knight, bringing a really interesting message, especially because he's next to the Empress. So that's two very positive cards. But then look, the outcome card is the Hermit. So I think it's about bringing positive messages as well to make humanity go deeper and within.
Yes.
So, I think some of them are real. One or two fakes, but some of them are real.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think one of the comments is really good to sum that up. T. Jones says, if it's art, because some of them are being referred to as art installations, if it's art, think of all the ideas and dreams that they've initiated.
Yes.
I love that.
That's a very good point. That is a very good point. So at the moment, we are at 1,311 of you are right here, right now. Thank you so much for joining us. And if we look here as well, I think some, let's just see here, 1 minute. Who's this? Foggy, thank you so much for your donation.
Thanks, Foggy.
Here we are. And someone also asked here, they said, please check again if Trump will show up for the I'll click up on it here. Please check again if Trump will show up for the CNN debate in Atlanta on Thursday, right before Thursday fry up, 6 p.m. West Coast time. No, I think he will. We asked about this last night. I think he will. I think it would be insane for him, even for him, not to, because you have an empty plinth. He would have the whole hour will just be for Biden, and Biden will be like, look, this is the type of president that Trump would be. He's not going to show up. He's not there for you. It would be political suicide. I'd be very surprised if Dr. Ronge doesn't show up. And if he doesn't, it's because something's happened to him or, whatever. So it wouldn't make sense. Anyway.
Yeah. I sort of agree. I think 2 weeks ago, I thought, nah, he's not going to turn up, Now it's too late for him to back out and save face.
Yeah. Yeah, and he was even trying to compliment actually Biden the other day, saying that he's a worthy opponent. So, you know, there's lots of foxiness going on there. So we did the monoliths. Oh, question number 4. Are we ready for a bit of Elon Musk? And then we see what Shakespeare.
Yes, let me get some cards for Elon. Yeah, okay.
So this is another question from Nick Minks. I think this one is more straightforward, this one. So she says here, last week, 8 former SpaceX engineers filed a lawsuit against Musk that claims the billionaire knowingly and purposefully created an unwelcome, hostile work environment based upon his conduct of interjecting into the workplace vile sexual photographs, memes, and commentary that demeaned women and or the LGBTQ plus community. And she said he also had something else there. And again, I have to go from memory. So she was asking, will he be held accountable for this lawsuit?
So what's the question again? What are we reading on? I see what cutting out.
So basically, last week, former ex-space engineers filed a lawsuit against Elon Musk that claims that basically he knowingly and purposely created an unwelcome and hostile work environment that was misogynistic, anti-LGBTQ, etc. And she's wondering if he's going to be held accountable.
Oh, okay.
And Cheryl says in the comments, can't believe how beautiful Lady G looks, and it makes me feel so happy.
Oh, lovely.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Elon Musk.
What's the situation? And then we'll see what Shakespeare has to say. See what the bard has to say about Elon. He's a mixed bag of fish, you know, that man. He is a mixed bag of fish, that one.
Yeah, you know, like another one with a hideous, unpleasable father. Is there a pattern?
Yeah. Had a very, very difficult father. I actually feel a bit sorry for him in terms of his childhood. Nobody wants a dad like that. His dad was terrible. And it just causes these complexes in these people. Probably part of the reason why he is a billionaire, but it's inferiority as complex as well.
Yes. I can go if you like.
Go for it.
Okay, he gets huge cards, which is not surprising. He's an immensely powerful man. So out of 5 cards, he gets 3 major arcana.
Whoa.
First, the devil. Hello, Elon. Glad you turned up. The Hierophant. This is what he's become. He's become his bossy, unpleasable, demanding father. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, he gets the 7 and 8 of wands. Look, this is, I think, just the most recent volcano. And where there's one, there's always more. You have chains of volcanoes, right? And I think he's, about to hit the chain. This is also, StreamYard's the other way around. Almost going up in flames. So I think it's not just this issue. With the Judgment card, I think this will go against him because their techniques, they would have copies of every hideous image he put up. They would have a record of every foul thing he said. Not that it'll necessarily change his behavior, but I think he's overstepped in every way with this volcano blowing. If he'd just been a nasty, difficult boss, that'd be one thing. But he's not. He's more, and now he's in the teeth of the fire.
Very interesting. Lady G, what do you have?
Well, above it, I have that this is starting to move forward. They're taking action underneath of it, the wheel is turning, so karma is coming. We have the key to this are their arguments, and what they've seen and what's crossing it is the fly on the wall. So I
love
think
the fly.
yeah, it could be the fly in the ointment sometimes, but in this case, he's the fly on the wall. They've got documentation, they've got the proof of what he's doing. So yeah, I would say it's coming.
Wow. I love that thing with the fly on the wall, because that's what they've proved to be, isn't it? This fly on the wall, which has recorded everything. Wow. And then just something in the comments which I thought was worth relaying when I scroll down. And this has come in here from Tris. Elon had a lawsuit before, people experiencing racism from him and others, and he encouraged it. I can't stand him. Yeah, he's you know, unfortunately, there's all this billionaire worship right now, and I think we need to morally, just as a collective, really start getting some perspective on these people, because they're just overpowered. But anyway, these are the cards that he got. So here we are. We've got the 7 of Pentacles here for Elon, and as you know, I often refer to this card as the ROI, return on your investment. So I think this is talking about the former employees who, you know, what they've invested in the company, their blood, sweat, and tears, and you know, the yield that they were probably hoping to get in terms of their reward for their investments. But sometimes this card in the shadow can mean the spoiled harvest. So I think this is them. These are the employees that have been looking on at their contribution. However, in the obstacle position, we have the High Priestess. Now, normally when we're talking about normal people, this can have some positive connotations, but when she turns up in the obstacle position, you know that something shady is going on. Yeah, so I mean, this is, yeah, shady practices, subterfuge. And it's also said that the shadow of the High Priestess can almost be a predatory nature as well. So I think this is actually talking about Elon here. So this is the employees and the efforts that they've put in, hoping to get their rewards, which has sort of been like a spoiled harvest. And then you've got this stuff that is going on there, which we wouldn't know about unless we worked there. And again, with Lady G's the fly on the wall, we're getting the fly on the wall's perspective here. In the middle, look, we see this is the lawsuit. I mean, it couldn't be more clear, could it? That's the law. This is the case, the lawsuit itself. And look here, could end in a bit of heartbreak for a certain someone. Now, a heartbreak for who? Will it be heartbreak for the employees? Yeah. Or Elon? When we look here, though, at the outcome card, we get, look at that, the 7 of Swords returns. So he's going to try it and, of course, get away with it. Like Lena said, he's immensely powerful. He is like a hero fan character now, where he literally is almost the law and government unto himself. And he is treated that way literally by other countries and governments. So I think they will bring the case. But something that very wealthy people can do is they can outlast you.
Yes.
They can outlast. And it's one of the Trump playbooks as well, isn't it? Oh, well, I'll just litigate. So we'll see. I think that there'll be some heartbreak. I think this is the employees, and this is probably Elon, you know, trying to sneak off. So I think there'll be the case. Whether or not it will be successful, we have to see.
Yeah, my favorite one in that was the obstacle. He can no longer keep secrets.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a good
It's
point.
going to come out. Yeah.
Indeed. So, Lady G, I think it's your turn. Who did the call?
No, I did it last time. This time
Lena.
it's Lena's turn.
Right.
Yes.
So, Lena, this is going to be the Bard's take on Elon, and the honor falls to you. So you know the routine. Tell me where to start. We'll see what he says.
Ready and stop.
All right. Oh, this is interesting. Oh dear. Oh dear. All right. Okay. This is from Romeo and Juliet. Romeo and Juliet. And this is what the bard has to say. I'll read the other page as well. It says, "Out, you green sickness carrion. Out, you baggage, you tallow face." And you know, what's it? Green sickness carrion. Green. That means gangrene. Oh my goodness. And then on the next one, and this is from Henry VI, Part 2, it says, "How ill white hairs become a fool and a jester, so surfeit, swelled, so old, so profane." Ooh.
I guess that means he's getting worse. As he gets older, he's getting more grotesque.
I think so. Yeah, that's how I would interpret that. Yeah. Yeah, how ill white hairs become a fool. Yes, yeah, and a jester. Yeah, as you get the white hairs come as you get older. So surfeit, swelled, and old, and so profane. So yeah, it's like the bard is saying he's getting worse with age. Wow.
And he's a gangrene on humanity.
Indeed. And I know, just in case some people are offended, you know, I do know some people that are fans of Elon, but I keep saying, listen, don't be taken in by that billionaire shine. It's really not all that glitters is gold. And I think a lot of people excuse not only Elon, but a lot of billionaires because they're rich. They're not necessarily nice people. But anyway, right. Shall we move on to the next question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So this one is interesting. So we've got this is about China, and then we're going to look at a Jack Smith versus Trump question. All right. So this is an interesting one. Nick Mintz again. So the British government has named and shamed Chinese state-affiliated actors as being behind several cyber attacks in the UK, but also around the world. It has sanctioned 2 individuals and 1 company. An expose has shown that the Chinese government are working hard to infiltrate as many countries and companies as possible. Not surprising, using any means available. How successful has China been? And do the cards indicate if the criminal ex-president, i.e. Trump, and his associates provided links and aid to this? So I would just say, has he provided aid and link to China? Maybe. Is that more simple? Let's ask that.
Yeah.
So the question is, did Trump provide aid to China? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it went around the houses a bit. So again, I would say for future questions, folks, try and keep them concise, because if they're too long, it's hard to keep track of what the question is. But basically, did Duc Larange provide information and aid to China as part of their wider attacks on other countries, UK being one?
Okay.
Duc Larange. Did he provide documents? Oh, surprise. Oh my God. Okay, who's ready? Who's ready to go?
I have to think about this. Do you want to go, Lady G?
I'll go. So above it all, we have to look deeper. And of course, you know, this could have been Trump by his lonely self. And underneath of it, creating a tower moment, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And this was benefiting him because this is my thing for the narcissist, but also work. So the narcissist working it and bringing fireworks now to the rest of the world because of giving them information. And I think the clock is in time. This will come out. More information will come out about this.
Right. I got the Tower as well.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
So there's certainly something to the story, and its more destructive elements will be obvious down the track. China plays chess very well. All right, plays the long game here. Then I got the Tower. Okay. When it came to Trump being in office, he was the wild Mustang, and they thought, aha, here are the two wolves. Now, I like Mustangs and I like wolves, but in terms of having a bad rep, you know, so they realized that, in essence, in Trump, that he wasn't loyal. Often the wolves are loyal to his own people because he was a wild thing. So they went, oh, okay, let's work on this. And I would think from this card, industrial secrets. Industrial secrets.
Yeah.
And then the last card was King of Fire, which is traditionally the King of Wands. He did it because he could.
Right.
You know, like.
Wow.
And, you know, for favors from the wolves.
Yeah.
Wow. Also, as well, Lena, what your cards made me think as well, with the whole Mustang coming next to the wolf, it made me think of the lone wolf. You know, the lone wolf events, the one person on their own who does. Very, very interesting. Well, my cards are pretty clear. I mean, it's quite a damning tableau. I mean, they've been very, very clear. So straight away, did Trump, for entertainment purposes only, folks, did Trump potentially provide some kind of secrets? And I think like Lena and Lady G are saying, maybe industrial secrets. That's the kind of thing that would make more sense. And that's the kind of juicy stuff that is most useful to China anyway. And there's 1,570 of you here right now. So look at this. We got the victory card. So this would be a yes. Yeah, this is kind of like a straight up. There's not really any other interpretation for this card. So yes, he was there charging there on horseback. He's like, I'm the president. Oh, guess what? I've got all these goodies and all these secrets. How much money are you going to give me? Yeah, to the highest bidder. Yeah, to the highest bidder. If we look in the obstacle position, though, we've got the law starting to sniff around and have a little look at this. Yeah, it's like, oh, what went on here? What went on here? But also as well, the shadow interpretation of this card can also deal with a spiteful nature as well. Remember, you know, Duck Larange is fond of revenge. Remember, revenge is never too far away. So he's always prepared to kind of maybe be amoral. But I'm seeing that as, yes, he did. Maybe there could be more legal ramifications that come up as his obstacle. But the dead giveaway, again, I've got to cover the naughty bits. The devil, yeah. Look already. I mean, the devil's actually popped up a few times tonight, hasn't it? I mean, we might have one or two evangelicals that might kind of come in there, think we're worshiping him, but you know, this is how the cards just come up. So this is, of course, talking about what his bad intentions, his corruption, his addiction and codependency for flattery and to have his ego, you know, enlarged. There it is. In the middle, though, and just off the middle, we have got the Four of Cups here. And again, you know, not liking necessarily the options on the table and everything like that. I'm going to say I don't think he sold absolutely everything to China, because I think he just had a gaggle of countries that he sold to. It would have been some here, some there, but he certainly would have sold one or two juicy little bits, or it could have been China posing as a proxy. and him not even realizing it was going to China. Do you know what I mean? But ultimately, look at the outcome card. We have the 9 of Pentacles here. Now, normally this would be a really positive card. So if you want to know if your business is going to do well and you get the 9 of Pentacles, you're probably going to be all right. But guess what? In the politics, the shadow of this card can often be naked prostitution or to the highest bidder. So I think this is Duc L'Orange here in his skirts, basically, who's basically offered himself and these secrets to these other powerful countries for attention, fame, wealth, money. The shadow of this card as well is also vanity. Yeah. So yes, I think. Anything to add to that, ladies, before we get the last one in?
No.
All right, brilliant. Okay, so this one, because of the way things kind of went, now this is a Jack Smith versus Trump question. So it evolves a bit on the original one that we just, on that one we just. So this is coming from Barron Burbell, and it's coming 2 tranches here. So anyway, I'll just make the best of it I can. So question, she says question, but it's not really a question. It's more like a statement. Anyway, she said, Rep Raskin brought down the House when in session he criticized the GOP for supporting Donald J. Trump, a convicted felon who sold while serving as president confidential top secret documents, making millions of dollars for himself. So that kind of already established by the earlier card. Question, will Jack Smith charge Donald Trump with possession, showing and discussing top secret confidential documents at Bedminster?
Ooh.
There we go. Let's have a look.
I don't know if Jack Smith's case, this is an interesting question for for everyone really, get into the content of the documents.
Yeah.
But we'll go with the question.
Yeah, let's go with it. Because isn't Jack Smith supposed to be about January 6th, or am I getting that wrong?
But also documents.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
The withholding of document stuff. So it's possible.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah, because Loose Cannon, of course, is helping Duc L'Orange as much as she can.
What flew out? Oh, Wheel of Fortune. Oh, okay.
Let's have a look.
Yeah, Jamie Raskin's fantastic.
Duc L'Orange, Jack Smith, Duc L'Orange. Documents in charge. Jack Smith and Duc L'Orange.
Oh my God.
Did you see a lot of the billionaires have just got back behind Duc L'Orange again with the funding? It's just so obvious, isn't it, what their intentions are? Oh, look at this. Oh my God, I've pulled the same card 3 times tonight. It's ridiculous. All right, who's ready? Who's ready to go?
I can go, just to keep going.
Go for it.
So the card that leapt out, meaning this case and all the Jack Smith stuff, all of them are so important at this time in history for the US Pluto return and everything that's happening. Massive. It is all coming to pass. The Devil card, it's I know, it's ridiculous, isn't it? I think this is the Yeti chained to Aileen Cannon and someone else. I don't know. But Jack Smith is literally having to work with the devil and about the devil. Like, you know, this is the US, what the US is dealing with. But after a dark night of the soul, and I can't imagine the frustration Jack Smith feels on a daily basis, but after this comes the victory, and we will be celebrating eventually, right? Tarot doesn't do timelines. So big.
Wow.
Big.
Lady G, what do you have?
Well, what's crossing all of it is where these things are flown and the stories that are being told around it, etc. So the clock is ticking, and there will be light shed because there will be a witness, somebody coming forward that has seen something that's going to speak about it. And again, underneath of it again, the light will be shown on it. So twice we have the light being shown on this. We're just waiting for that clock to tick down till this witness comes forward.
Fascinating. It's been an interesting night tonight, isn't it, ladies? Of how many cards have kept coming back, like, and you see us, we're shuffling. There's another card that has come back, I think, for the third time. I mean, it's just incredible. So, will Jack Smith charge Trump, for these other kind of document infringements, etc., showing people documents at Bedminster? The Seven of Pentacles returns again. And this is very interesting because I think this card is speaking about Trump and Jack Smith. This is Trump looking at that pile of documents in his bathroom. And do you remember they said, oh, but it's fine because there was a lock on the toilet door. And it's like, okay, like what? So what? Duck Larange is going to keep himself. They're going to be like, where is the orange one? He's like, I'm in here protecting my documents. And of course not. Rubbish, So, but that's him, and he sees he always saw these documents as an investment, something that was going to bring him a return on his ROI. But this is also Jack Smith, I think, who is having to ponder Duck Larange and wondering when will he be able to reap his harvest. When will his hard work pay off? So this could show maybe a little whiles yet, because as we know, there's many are actually helping Trump. Now look in it. So if we took this from the perspective of Jack Smith, look at the obstacle position. So we got Pentacles again, and this time it's the Knight of Pentacles. Normally, when it's the right way up, this speaks about the loyal knight doing blah, 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 looking after his liege. But this is turned up in the obstacle position, and this can also be the mercenary. So Jack Smith is invested in this case, but he's coming up against Duck Larange's mercenaries, like Eileen Cannon and the billionaires and this, that, and the other, who are, bankrolling all of this. I think it's a tricky one. It's a tricky one because of all those obstacles. I think Jack Smith is having to weigh up his options and is not really liking everything that's coming to him. However, there may be an offer that could come maybe as a bit of a surprise, but he might have to think outside of the box. Ultimately, though, Judgment makes another return tonight. So I think this is, if we take it in the literal interpretation, this is the judgment and hellfire that Jack Smith wants to bring down on Duck Larange. But if we look here, we've got what's that? The Two of Wands. Let me just make sure that is the two. Yeah. No, this one's the two, actually. There's the two.
Is it two? Okay.
Yeah, it's the two. Oh, yeah. It looks like a three because there's like these little it's the filigree, I think, but yeah, there's definitely a two there.
Yeah.
So this is really interesting because on one hand, this is talking about the international sale from the perspective of Duck Larange selling the documents. Literally, look, he's holding a globe. And this is the merchant. So that is literally showing Duck Larange has literally sold all of this stuff all over the world. And I think all the international leaders know it. But this is also as well, I think this is also showing the kind of almost like the ordeal in a way that Jack Smith has, because the trail goes literally all over the world. So it's a lot of work. He's got his work really cut out for him, because if you think of all of the documents piled up in the toilet up to the ceiling, do you know what I mean? Imagine when it actually comes to those court cases for that, you know, if he's able to get past these obstacles of his mercenaries, it will be epic. And I think when it all comes out, what Jack Smith will reveal is literally these international connections and how far they've gone. People might be really surprised. We won't be, but some will. All right. Anything to add to that? Can you believe it? The time has gone.
It's flown. Just parting comment from Raymond de Pascal. Trump doesn't need a running mate. He needs a cellmate. I love that.
That is a good one. That is a funny one. It's going to be very interesting, these debates, folks. But I, you know, as you know, I trust my cards. Something strange is going to happen. Something a bit odd. Yeah, in the debate, it's just the sense that I got on the cards that I got is something's going to be a little bit off, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see. And I think it was a little bit of a mistake, if I may say, to allow Trump to have the last word as well. I don't think that should have happened. But anyway, not my choice. Any closing statements, ladies, before we go? Anything you want to leave a message for our viewers?
Just one thing. I did a collaboration with Laurie, The Way of Positive Change, yesterday. Ooh. You can check out that video. And I've got one coming up with Andre, Astrology Alert, too. So after being away, I'm catching up with all the collabs.
Wonderful. And Lady G, any closing comments, and how are things for you?
Just thank you, to everyone. And they've been so supportive of my coming back, and I really do appreciate it. And I am healing, slowly by slowly, but thank you all. But yeah, t-shirt today is diverticulitis.
Oh, bless.
Terrible. I would not recommend it for a friend. So.
Well, I just want to say you've been a total inspiration through this ordeal.
Yeah, you really have. And it's really appreciated, honestly, your courage and
stoicism.
And stoicism is really, really, really appreciated. And I admire you very much. You've inspired a lot of people of how to deal with, these difficult things. It's not easy, and you're here and you're showing up, and it's wonderful to have you back. So I really, really appreciate that.
You've all been so fabulous. Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. So in closing, folks, I would say please don't forget to like and subscribe if you've not done so already, if you'd like to support HoGaLe's. And if you would like to subscribe to the ladies channel, they are in the video description below. I'm trying to remember if I've done it. I'm going to do it post show just to be absolutely sure. And also as well, if anyone is interested, Costa Rica. So if anyone wants some winter sunshine retreat with myself in January, I mean, it's January 2025, so it's ways out yet, but you can, it can all be done in installments and stuff like that. Then that will be in the information as well. But thank you, everyone, so much for joining us, and we will see you the next time. So bye-bye for now.
Ciao.
All right. Ciao, everyone. Bye-bye.